thanks.
Giving thanks, Brother Bilal, for that sacred music, that flute, that breath coming through with those harmonies, those melodies. We give thanks for that. We want to welcome everyone tuning in to this episode of Align with Earth, brought to you by Planet Restoration, and our very special guest, Brother Roland, Brother Om.
Give thanks. Give thanks.
Up, present here with us in this blessed and sacred now moment. And we know for those tuning in as well, this is going to air on our YouTube channel on 222, just for everybody's recognition of the synchronization. That's an auspicious day for us as it marks an opportunity to venerate one of our elders, Ima Deborah Yahweh, who became an ancestor in the year 2008. And this is 14 years really since her transition. And so we know her galactic signature marks the upcoming wave spell that leads up to then the 52nd Earth Day. What is observed worldwide on April 22nd, we know a natural time this year will be marking the White Cosmic Wizard Day, which is an auspicious day in the planetary moon, day 19. So grateful to have everyone who is out there tuning in the heart and mind to be here now. As we make this journey together, we're navigating some very tremendous transformative times. And fortunately, we're not alone, and we do have supports. We have help. We have aid, particularly at this time for those of us tuning into the heart of the matter. And so I'd love to invite my brother Bilal, who'd like to do some intention setting, perhaps, as we endeavor into this amazing conversation with our good dear brother Om in this space.
Yes, yes. Give thanks, big brother and big brothers. Yes, yeah. I appreciate, the opportunity to be in such a powerful cipher. And I'll just set it off with, in the name of the Most High, the most gracious, the most merciful. We give thanks for the presence. We give thanks for the grace. We give thanks for your blessings. We give thanks for the space. We give thanks for the love. We give thanks for the light. We give thanks for the effulgence, the radiant light. Most High, in every way, in every day, we're giving thanks and praise for the sacred light rays. Taking a breath in the moment, being present in the essence. We give thanks for our spirit guides, for the angels that bring us into this present moment, for the elements, earth, wind, fire, air, ether, the noosphere, and we know you are guiding this conversation, guiding our path, and we radiate from the heart core with love and appreciation. Ashe, ashe, Amen.
Asheo, Asheo. Yeah, thank you for that beautiful intention setting and invocation to help us open this space. And this is the third installment of this series, Align with Earth, where the first conversation we had with our brother Ruben, we were able to share a conversation about the synchronization of timelines. There's a multitude of timelines that for those who are observing these various cycles, we're able to see how there's a major synchronization, a harmonization. They're coming to a point of convergence, which is quite powerful, just as something to make conscious. And then the second installment, we had a beautiful conversation with our elder, Audrey Scott Williams, with regard to living our lives as ceremony. That was the last conversation. And so it only seemed fitting that we would reach forth to our dear brother, Roland, to be able to come forward and share with us a very powerful application, sacred science, a ceremony of sacred science that we've each been initiated in our life paths and have found tremendous benefit, and also have felt a deep commitment to ensuring you could bring this science to other people because of the mass benefits, not only for the personal, but as well for the planetary scope of our collective situation. And so this amazing sacred science that's known as Agnihotra, also described by the term Homa Therapy, we're really, really super blessed to get into a conversation with our dear brother today about this science, about some of his own experience with the lineage of masters who've walked the earth to bring the science to us, who we now venerate, who are now our ancestors. And so it's even a more clear commitment that we have the responsibility to make sure that more people can learn about this, particularly during this important time, what Jose Arguelles called the biosphere-noosphere transition. So as we're making this biosphere-noosphere transition, which is a window of time, it's not an instant event, but it's truly, we're all part of what I consider a transition team. So in that capacity, we're here to help support the transition of the human species and the evolution of consciousness, along with the parallel reality that Earth is also experiencing a great awakening. So we're here in right relationship with Mother Earth, with the planet becoming conscious of itself, and endeavoring to bring this type of inspiration and information forward to folks around the world. And with deep gratitude, I introduce my dear brother, Roland Nash, here to free up. Truly an honor to see you, brother. Thank you for being here.
Greetings, brother. Greetings, brothers. Namaste. What's up? All that good stuff. All right. Yes, we have a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, as they say, back in the days in Atlanta. I think I met both of you guys in 2004. I met both of you through meditation, and I'll tell you how. I know you guys remember, but I'm talking to the audience now. There was a meditation group in East Point, a brother named Tuere, and I forgot the sister's name, his wife.
Tuere and Shara.
Yeah, Tuere and Shara.
Mm-hmm.
They had a meditation session every Sunday. That was like my first major meditation, and I learned that from. I learned about their meditation session from WRFG, radio station 89.3, which is where I met you, Brother Mikuak. And you actually came to the meditation one day. I met Bilal and his brother Taj at the meditation on another occasion. So meditation amongst us has always been very important, and we honor that space, and we honor each other in our respective meditations. And so another good story, Brother Mikuak, you actually were the first to mention the word Agnihotra to me. I remember you kept telling me that, hey man, there's this ceremony that you can do. You just get some cow dung and you burn a fire, and man, it's just the best. I said, man, sign me up. But we never got around to, holding the space. And it was by, as they say, grace, divine grace, that I met my teacher, also in East Point, not too far away from the meditation session.
Wow.
Yeah, something special is going on out there in East Point. East Point is a suburb of Atlanta, for all those who are not familiar. And so we came together. I mean, our story is legendary. How you created the womb room, and then Bilal came afterwards, created the bloom room. These are powerful spaces where we were doing poetry, meditation, jam sessions, drumming. Bilal showed up with his flute. There's another sister who played the flute. And the last piece that came in was the fire. Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. And when we put the fire there, we noticed that took the energy to another level.
Mm.
And
Raise
so
the
what
vibration. Raise the vibration.
exactly,
That's right.
exactly. I guess what the next question or the segue would be is what is this fire?
Mm.
Um, this is an ancient fire from the Vedas. It's called Agnihotra, or as the therapeutic term or scientific term, Homa Therapy. Homa just means purification using the agency of fire, and you're using a pyramid as the receptacle. This is what you're burning the fire in. This is a pyramid. What you would see in this form, you would see these kind of pyramids, what they call step pyramids. And I know, Brother McCoy, you're very knowledgeable about these step pyramids in Mexico,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all down through Central America. They also have step pyramids in Saqqara in Egypt, and a
Yes.
few step pyramids in China and other places around the world. And so, why am I talking about pyramids, and why is this in the shape of a pyramid? Well, let's just break down that word. The word pyramid means fire in the middle. So, pyra, which is pyro, which is fire. So we have a pyrotechnic show. That's a fireworks show. If somebody is a pyromaniac, is somebody who likes to set fire to everything that they shouldn't. So pyro is fire. So pyra amidst, or in the middle. So the fire in the middle. This is the pyramid. It's the science of the pyramid, the fire in the middle. Now, speaking of science, the energy that surrounds the pyramid is known as orgone energy. Orgone energy. ORGONE. If you want to, for all those who want to look that up, orgone energy. And there's also a great book that came out in the 1970s called Pyramid Power, which goes in depth into these things. But moving right along, the pyramid is made of copper. So we have a fire in a pyramid made of copper. Now, what's the significance of the copper? Well, the copper is the conductor of energy. Copper is one of the best conductive energies on this planet that we know of currently. All the wires in your house, in this building, and all major buildings are pretty much made of copper because they're good conductors of energy. Gold is another good conductor of energy, but gold is very expensive. You can purchase copper relatively cheaply nowadays. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. But anyway, that's another story for another
It's a
day.
different conversation.
You're right. Everybody's paying attention to current events, so they know what's going on.
Facts.
So we have the copper, which is a good conductor of energy, not just electricity, but many energies. And so the time of day that we perform Agnihotra also plays heavily into the energetic aspect of it. At sunrise and sunset, those are known as the circadian rhythms of nature. Circadian rhythms. So let's go a little bit deeper into that. You have sunrise. When the sun rises, that term sunrise means when the sun comes over the horizon and starts flooding the plane with solar energies or sunlight, as they say. That's the sunrise. As soon as this happens, everything within the wake of this torrent becomes enlivened. The plants, their photosynthesis process starts when they receive sunlight. The leaves. Okay. Now the animals, they start becoming more active when they feel the sun's heat and energy. If you're ever up at sunrise, you'll notice squirrels and birds are very active at that time. Maybe not so much cats and dogs because they're on a whole nother cycle, but sometimes they are too. And so now we have the copper, we have the pyramid. We know copper conducts energy. What energy is it conducting? That torrent of energy is coming at sunrise and sunset. So when you have a pyramid, a fire going in the pyramid, and the sun comes up over the horizon, the energy that is conducted here, first of all, there's a lot of energy that starts to surround the pyramid around sunrise and sunset, approximately about 30 minutes before sunrise and sunset. Tremendous amount of orgone energy starts to surround the pyramid. You put the fire in there, which takes that energy to a higher level. The sun's torrent of energies at sunrise come, add to that fire, which purifies everything within 1 mile radius. Now, how will it purify? It's according to the ingredients being burned. So the major ingredient that's burned is, as I mentioned before, cow dung. Now, why cow dung? So there's a whole series of whys here. Why the pyramid? Why the copper? Why the time of day? And now, why the ingredient? Why the cow dung? Well, the cow dung is known as the only substance on this planet, materially, that can resist and neutralize negative radioactivity, or negative radiation. So what are we getting negative radiation from? Power lines, microwave ovens, TVs, iPads, cell phones. You name it. If it's electric and you have to be near it, it's kicking off some kind of EMF or electromagnetic frequency.
Would that include negative thoughts, being that thoughts are electric as well?
You would have to have a meter that would read those thoughts, but I would say yes, because we know that thoughts affect not only plants, not only animals, thoughts affect other human beings. My thought can affect yours. Your thought can affect mine. And how important that is, one negative thought on a platform like this, let's say if we had 3,000 listeners, one negative person can infect thousands of people with just negative energy. So you're right about that. Now, but scientifically, we would have to have some kind of device that would measure that. But we do have measuring devices for negative radioactivity in the environment. As a matter of fact, there's a popular video on YouTube where a guy has a piece of cow dung, and there's I think a cell phone he has in his hand. He has a cell phone and a piece of cow dung, and it's right over a radioactive monitor, a monitor that monitors radioactivity in an area. And so he had the cell phone, he would put it over the monitor, and the reader would go off the chart, let you know that the cell phone is kicking off a high amount of radiation. And so what he would do is put the cow dung right on top of it, the meter would go straight to zero.
Wow. Wow.
The cow dung is the only thing that we know materially that can neutralize radioactivity. So what does that mean when you're putting it in the fire? Now, as we know, whatever you put heat to, heat expands things. So the properties in the cow dung are now in the pyramid. As we heat it up, it gets expanded to my immediate environment. But guess what, brothers? Not just the immediate environment, because now remember, at sunrise and sunset, there's a powerful amount of energy that surrounds the pyramid. So when we put the fire there, it kicks off that energy even further. Scientists have done numerous experiments on this one. I myself have done over 10,000 experiments with Homa Therapy. Now, there's some scientists who have actually measured the energy coming off of one pyramid at sunrise and sunset. And if we were able to harness the energy, like how we can harness solar energy, wind energy, if we were able to harness this pyramid energy from just one pyramid, we can light up the city the size of New York or Bangkok, Thailand, or Tokyo from one pyramid. Now, I would say, thankfully, we cannot harness that energy yet because we don't know. There's some nefarious players who may use that kind of energy against people. So I'm glad that hasn't happened. But look at the possibilities that we have with just this single pyramid. And this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, Homa Therapy. This is just pyramid energy. Now, back to the Homa Therapy. Lighting this on fire at the correct timing, sunrise and sunset. And we know that powerful energy surrounds the pyramid at that time. The properties of the cow dung that can neutralize radioactivity now get transposed not to the immediate environment, now it's transposed to a 1 mile radius. This pyramid, which is known as the receptacle, the heat from the pyramid now rises up 8 miles to the atmosphere. Okay. Now that while it's going up to that 8 miles, it starts to create a torrent of energy going up. It's like a vacuum. Now, as it goes up, what goes up, as we know, must come down. So now as that energy comes down, now not only is just energy coming down, it's the properties of the cow dung. And I should mention also the other ingredients. This is cow's ghee. This is ghee butter. This is butter with the dairy taken out of, the cream taken out. Okay, so many people all over the world, especially in India, use ghee for lamps, use ghee for cooking. It's excellent fuel. And so it's the fuel for this Agnihotra process. It's what fuels that process of taking the energy up 8 miles into the upper atmosphere. And as it comes down, the ghee itself can scrape the upper atmosphere where there's nutrients up there and bring those nutrients back to the receptacle. And as it comes back down, that energy and nutrients gets dispersed within a 1 mile radius, especially around the area where you're performing the fire. Like right now, I'm in my garden. The garden is facing the other way of the camera. So I have a few dragon fruit plants here that I'm trying to cultivate. My camera's leaning up against some banana trees. So we use this process of Homa Therapy in gardening, farming, purifying the atmosphere, which is needed. One of the other ingredients that we use besides the ghee is brown rice. This is just regular uncooked raw brown rice. Now, brown rice has certain nutrients in it. It has a certain substance called olein. And olein, when it goes up in this process, when it goes up into the upper atmosphere, it starts to put nutrients up into the upper atmosphere. So now, not only are we relying on the nutrients in the upper atmosphere to come back through the process, we're actually replacing nutrients in the upper atmosphere. Why do we need to do that? Well, brother, you still in LA, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is there still a heavy amount of smog in LA?
It's got a lot of pollution. I mean, it's a
Okay.
major metropolis. Obviously,
Yeah.
they've been doing better, we can say, than they were in
Right.
the 90s,
Right.
which is important. However, obviously, there's still definitely, with the heat here, it kind of can trap car exhaust and
Yeah.
things like that. And with so many millions of
Right.
vehicles, it's bananas.
Millions of vehicles, car exhaust.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
surrounding us. It's like we're in a soup of toxicity. It's surrounding us. We need something to get that off of us. And because of that ongoing soup that's been going on for decades now, it's reached up until the stench has reached to the high heavens. No.
And we also
reached,
see a fair bit of
yeah,
chemtrailing here too, for that matter. So
it's
I mean,
spraying every day.
keeping it real. So yeah, they
Yes.
spray here heavily all the time.
So thank you, brother. What is that doing to the atmosphere? What is that doing to it? It's
No
stripping, right? It's no bueno. It's stripping the atmosphere of vital nutrients that we need, because we live in a dome. We live in a bubble. We live in a biosphere. So now we have to patch up those holes in the ozone layer. I know you remember they saying we had holes in the ozone layer. Well, it's all because of the pollution and toxicity. This is one way we can do that, because the rice can actually start putting nutrients back into the atmosphere. So we have the process of the cow dung eliminating not only radioactivity, brothers, I forgot to tell you, it also gets rid of bacteria, viruses, any imbalance in the environment. So I know there's a lot of talk nowadays about pathogens and viruses and things like that. Cow dung was used in the ancient times for removing maladies or ailments such as whooping cough. You had a lot of respiratory ailments. What people would do is they would take someone, let's say a child was suffering from whooping cough or another respiratory ailment. They would take them, put them in either a cow pasture or the cow pen, and let them breathe in the fumes of the cow dung and also the cow's breath. And what that would do is that would help purify the system and make them well again. Now, when you do the fire, that same property of being antibacterial, germicidal, antivirus, now guess what? Exposed to the environment. So whenever you burn something, it expands. So now it's that property of being antibacterial, germicidal is now exposed to your environment. That would have helped a lot of people out during the early days of the pandemic.
Yes. I wonder, to that point, do you know of any studies that have been done throughout the duration of the pandemic, the past couple of years, where there have been practicing communities of any measure, from either a single family home or even to a larger community, where Agnihotra has been applied for the purpose of neutralizing pathogens and things of this nature in the atmosphere? Are there any studies where that's been applied relative to stemming the issues, coming from?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a study going on with Vishwa Foundation in India. I want to give them a shout out. Vishwa,
they have a great
where
app.
really, yes, that's the origins of this Agnihotra process, in this form. Their home base is in Shivapuri in Maharashtra, India, and they're doing studies on, like you said, specifically related and other virus related, but most what's been going on for the last 2 years. They don't have the studies published because it's an ongoing study. So you can check back with them, but definitely check with Vishwa. You can just Google Vishwa, VISHWA Foundation, and keep up with those studies. Now, personal accounts, we have many personal accounts.
Okay.
So I'll just say in the early days of the pandemic, when everybody was just very uncertain about what was going on, there was a couple that lived in Spain and they practiced Agnihotra daily, sunrise and sunset. And so they lived with someone who did not practice it. And so the person who did not practice it came down with. Now, as we know, in the early days, we thought, hey, if you're in the same breathing space as someone, then you've got it. You've got the right. You got it. Well, in their case, they did the fire, and they also take what's the resultant ash afterwards, which is very healing and medicinal. There's a whole book by Monica Koch called The Ancient Science of Healing. Homa Therapy, The Ancient Science of Healing.
Great book.
Many remedies that you can use, Agnihotra ash, and just the process of Agnihotra itself in healing. And so they did that. They did this, and they all went to get tested. The brother who came down with, he had it for a while, but every time they would go to get tested, they always came down negative with it. So in those close quarters like that, with something that's supposed to be as infectious as the was, they were unaffected by it. And this happened many times. I can tell you my own personal experience. It was still during the early days, but this was 2021. I went on a trip with my family, and as soon as I got to our place where we were staying, we found out that my niece had. So as soon as we got there, we found that out. So we were going to be there for a while. So, a lot of people have different ways that they protect themselves from, whether it be medical procedures or whatnot. But some people like to, be a little more natural. So I put a lot of things to the test. Read this book, did a lot of homas. Now, homas are done outside of sunrise and sunset. These are fires that are done outside of sunrise and sunset. It can be done any time of the day to boost the healing effects of the Agnihotra. And so I engaged in what's called a Om Trambakam Homa. I did that, tried to do that at least like an hour a day. Now, not only did I not get affected, my family that was with me, nobody else got infected from her. One more thing, when she went home and went to the doctor originally told her she would be testing positive for it for 3 months. I guess that's a standard. It's when she tests positive, it's like she tested negative after that week.
Wow.
So just her being around the Agnihotra helped heal her.
So basically you're saying Agnihotra is an organic remedy It's truly like an organic healing remedy and preventative, even moreover. It's a preventative method of medicine or practice of this sort of medicine.
That's correct, brother. It's preventative measure, and it's originally called the ancient science of fumigation. Fumigation. Burning certain herbs and things like that. People have been doing that for thousands of years. Thousands of years. This process comes from the Vedas. It's an Ayurvedic technique. Ayurveda just means the science of healing in Sanskrit. And one more thing about the process, it won't be complete until you chant a Sanskrit mantra. It's a simple one line input, and I'll chant it. I'll chant the sunrise mantra now. Sunrise mantra is Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Idam Namama, Prajapataye Swaha, Prajapataye Idam Namama. And that's the sunrise.
Brother, sound like Gil Scott Heron over there, like on the mantra. No, I mean,
yes.
Like, when's your record coming out?
Let me check the timing because we got
Brother
10 minutes until we do. We got 10 minutes actually, brother, until we do the Agnihotra ceremony fire. So we'll definitely show you the process. Can you actually see my setup here?
Oh yeah, that's perfect right there.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Amazing.
Good. So.
And I was noticing, Bilal, are you also getting ready to enter fire time on your side?
Yeah. I'm getting.
Okay.
I'm ready at it.
Yes.
How many minutes do you have until fire time on your side, Bilal?
Hold on. Let me see if I could do this. Let's see here. My fire is 8:03.
Okay. Mine is at 7:45. So I guess by the time my fire is wrapping up, it'll almost be time to go into yours.
Yeah, we just say fire marathon over here. I love it.
You know what I mean? Here we go.
Well, mine is 7:15 tonight in California. So there we go.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 hours later. So.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Okay. So what? Yeah, go ahead.
If I may, as a musician, a man of sound, like I love those tones, the sunrise and the sunset.
Yeah.
My question is the importance of doing it in the Sanskrit language, and also, is it important to know the meaning, or is it more about the tones specifically?
Those are great questions. So as I get ready here, I'll just let you know that now Sanskrit is a language of vibrations and, like you said, tone. A language like we're speaking now, English, it's about definitions and meanings. It has pronouns and verbs and adjectives. Sanskrit is not set up like that. Sanskrit is about the tone and vibration of something. So in other words, let's take this pyramid. So we call it in our language pyramid. Pyramid is Latin, of course, but we call it a pyramid. Sanskrit, I actually don't know the Sanskrit term for pyramid, but the term, a Sanskrit name for something would be dealing with the tone of this pyramid itself. In other words, dealing with the sound and vibration of a thing. So when I say
resonance,
yes, exactly. When I say the mantra for sunrise or sunset, I'm actually toning the vibration of the sunrise or sunset. So in English, we just call it sunrise. In Sanskrit, what I chanted, that is the actual vibration of the sunrise. So if you get it, it's about the tone and the resonance, like you said.
Powerful.
Yeah, yeah. And there's so many different Sanskrit words, or what they call a mantra is just a combination of Sanskrit words for a certain effect. And so the Agnihotra mantra is for the effect of this process and all the healing that goes along with it. The ingredients, the timing, the mantra itself, all of that comes together to create a subtle, we can even say explosion, an explosion on a subtle level. Okay. All right. So I got about 6 minutes here. I'm going to light this fire pretty soon. How am I doing sound wise? Because we got somebody here that's cutting the grass next door. Can y'all hear me pretty good still? You good?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good. You're good.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. Okay. So did I answer your question, brother?
Yeah, perfectly, perfectly. And I figure like what Mikuak was saying about, negative and positive vibes
Yes.
come in at these key times,
Mm.
though these tones can probably channel that energy in a particular specific type of way.
Yes.
So
Indeed. 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 Yeah. It's all about the tone and the resonance, and um, if we even have enough time, I can show you another fire that we do called Om Triumph Become. It's called a Homa. Now, Homa Therapy, Agnihotra is the basic Homa in Homa Therapy. It's the one that sets the healing cycle. Because remember, at sunrise and sunset, that's called a circadian rhythm of nature. So it just continues from sunrise to sunset. The pyramid is continuously working even outside of sunrise and sunset. It's still working. It's still pulling in energies, releasing energies. But at sunrise and sunset, you really activate it with this process. Now we got about 4 minutes and 30 seconds, so I'm going to go ahead and light the fire. Okay. And so now, right at the time of sunrise and sunset, when I say the mantra, every time I say the word swaha, I'm going to put some rice into the fire. Swaha is an activating word in the Sanskrit language. Some people would say it would be similar to ashe, asheo. But when you're doing these homas, when you say swaha, that's when you put the ghee or the rice or whatever other offering you're going to offer into the fire. One thing I also want to mention as well, this is not a religious ceremony. This is a scientific process of purifying the atmosphere. Now, it can be used in conjunction with different religious ceremonies. Any kind of ceremony, any kind of religion you want to practice, anything that you want to practice, you can stick the fire in there. The fire will make sure that everything is nice, purified, very calm and peaceful. Because I haven't even really talked about the peaceful benefits of Agnihotra, the peace that comes with it. Brother Bilal, I know you can talk about that.
yeah, bro. I bear witness. I'm a
Yeah.
father of three
Mm,
wonderful sons,
mm,
bright shining sons, and they were all once babies, and I utilized I utilized the fire as a tool to keep them peaceful and just to experiment and
yeah,
see, if what the guru was saying is true.
exactly.
And time
Mm,
after time, I had to bear witness that the fire would ease their cries and whatever it is. I
mm,
get the fire going,
mm.
the
Yes,
house just comes to peace.
that's it. That's it. That's exactly it. Yes, indeed. So we're at the 2 minute warning now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start separating the broken rice grains and taking them out. You don't want the broken rice grains in because it'll disrupt the healing cycle. We still got Brother McCoy there. I can't see everybody on the screen.
I am absolutely here and just
Yes,
taking
sir.
taking it all in.
Yes, yes, brother. We got about a minute and a half left. It's important the
Perfect.
correct timing.
Yes.
As you can see, I'm always looking at the clock and seeing the seconds. It's important to get it down to the second because that's when, at sunset, that torrent of energies recedes. That torrent of energies, I was telling you at first, when the sun rises, starts to flood this plane with solar energies. At sunset, that torrent recedes and everything goes back into the quiet time.
Right.
The photosynthesis process in the plants begins to shut down. Animals begin to shut down, go into their nests, get ready for the nighttime hours, and then overnight, and then we do it again at sunrise. So that's the healing cycle that we're setting for sunrise and sunset. We got 35 seconds, brother.
Perfect. Perfect.
How's my sound doing? Because we got a lawnmower going.
This sound we don't hear any interference on our end. Sounds great.
Great, great. I guess that's a credit to Apple.
Hey, good job.
We don't want to plug them though. We got 15 seconds, brother.
All right.
Agnaye swaha. Agnaye idam namama. Prajapataye swaha. Prajapataye idam namama. Home type. Home type love. So normally we would just be in silence until the fire goes out. It'll go out in a few minutes, but it's a really simple process. Everything becomes very peaceful afterwards.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Beautiful. Share a little bit with us, if you don't mind, about your experience with Sri Charles and Shanti Villa Institute.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Sri Charles was my Agnihotra teacher, my yoga teacher. Um, he's who I was referring to, who I met in East Point at the home of. It was the Agnihotra house in East Point that I was invited to, and I met Sri Charles, and he introduced me to the Shanti Villa family. That day, his son Jonathan was there, his oldest son, and Sri Charles would correspond with me through a brother named Umoja, who's no longer with us. That brother, rest in power, brother Umoja. Um, I was studying a lot about yoga and meditation before I met him, and so when I met him, I said, "Okay, I need to learn from Sri Charles," and I did. I learned a lot from him. I learned about Ayurveda, Agnihotra, yoga, Kriya yoga. I was able to become a Kriya yoga teacher and instructor um, for many years. And Shanti Villa Institute is the place where I went to learn. Shanti Villa Institute is a school, it's an eco center, it's an ashram. And at that time, it was open to the public, and many people were coming in through there. As you know, y'all have been there several times. And um, it's just a very important place for people to learn a science like this in an atmosphere where it's very peaceful. It's in the woods, 13 acres, rural Tuskegee, which is a very important city. Some would say a holy city. It's a very important city in African American history. Um, Tuskegee, it's a very good energy there, and Shanti Villa is nestled in some wooded area of Tuskegee, and I spent many days there doing fire and meditating and learning about Homa farming and gardening and healing with Agnihotra. Even before I got this book, I learned some techniques from Sri Charles from his many years of Agnihotra practice. Him and his wife, Mama Harriet, they established Shanti Villa, and many people came through there. One story is Sri Charles's teacher, which is the Master Sri Vasant, who wrote this book, Homa Therapy, Our Last Chance. He wrote many books, but this is one of my favorite books, Homa Therapy, Our Last Chance. And Sri Vasant in this book talks about some of the coming perils that we would face if we didn't get the problem with pollution and toxicity under control, and using Agnihotra as a tool to do that. And so Sri Charles learned many things from Sri Vasant, and so he shared many things with me that he learned. And so this process here has changed my life and it's changed many lives of people that I've known. And I've been practicing it since 2005. Um, I don't stop. I practice it every day. So yes, daily since 2005. Maybe a few here and there missed, but this is a lifestyle. This is an Ayurvedic lifestyle. Agnihotra is the floor of Agnihotra, of Ayurveda. I'm sorry. Agnihotra is the floor of Ayurveda. It's the first level of Ayurvedic medicine. Why is that? Before you're dealing with healing and medicine and Ayurveda and wellness, any kind of wellness medicine, you've got to deal with the root problem of the issue. You can't just deal with the symptom. And going back to what I was saying about it being the ancient science of fumigation, well, let's just say, Mikuak, if we lived in an ancient civilization or an ancient village or something, and someone came down with an illness, let's say if COVID was around back then, or, they have malaria and many other different illnesses. Um, Western medicine says, hey, let's go treat that person and that symptom. Ayurvedic medicine, which is traditional and ancient, says, hey, we need to get rid of the conditions that created this problem to begin with. So if there's somebody who has an illness, that means this area is diseased. So what do we need to do? We need to blow some Agnihotra smoke around this area. Yeah. We need to fumigate the area. And so it's a holistic with a W, we like to say, holistic approach to medicine and wellness. And not only just our bodies, and not only just our communities, the plants, even the very soil itself gets healed with the process of Agnihotra.
Indeed. Now, you and Sri Charles and members of the community initiated something called Heal the Atmosphere Association. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, Sri Charles founded Heal the Atmosphere Association in 1974, I believe. At that time, he was known as the first Black environmental organization in the country. We don't know if you even want to say the world, because that's in the 70s. It may have been the world, but it was definitely known that he had the first Black environmental nonprofit in this country as the Heal the Atmosphere Association. That name came to him from, I'll say it's a divine origin. Healing the atmosphere. His teacher used to talk about that a lot. Talking about healing the atmosphere, even in this book. Heal the atmosphere. That's what you're doing with this process. You're healing the atmosphere from the negative pollution and toxicity that we're in. As we talked about earlier, we're in that toxic soup. Always in that toxic soup, car exhaust, you name it, fast food exhaust. We were driving on the highway one time. We could smell McDonald's like a mile away, So it's all kind of exhaust and just things we're just surrounded by, and we're breathing it in.
Everybody's so exhausted.
Yes.
There we go. This is word.
If I may, speaking of, the smoke and, as it goes out like this, is there anything particular that's done at that point?
When the smoke is going up like this?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So let's say you're going through, you got some kind of illness. Let's just say stuffy, like got a congestion. I'm actually trying to find it in here because it even says it. You can just inhale the Agnihotra smoke if you're congested. Usually, if you're congested, you have like maybe one nostril that you can get something through, and you just, inhale the smoke. I've done it several times, and it clears it up. I got a funny story about that as well. I used to work at a school in Midtown Atlanta called the Children's School, and every evening I would do Agnihotra. This is 2006, 2007, by the way. I would do Agnihotra. Yes, I would do Agnihotra at the school, but I would do it either in the back of the school or on the ceiling, not the ceiling, the rooftop. And so, one time I did it on the rooftop, and I came down, and somebody said, "Oh, Brother Roland, there's a police officer, one of the security guards. He wants to talk to you." And so, back in those days, we would sometimes get harassed for doing the fire in public places. I don't want to say like this was the ancient days, It wasn't Jim Crow, but it was back then. People were, very wary. And so I said, okay, what now? And so the guy said, "You the one to burn in the fire?" And I said, okay. I said, yes, that was me. He said, "Man, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's about, but I've been having sinus problems for the last 5 years. And you burn that fire. All I know is I could smell that fire all the way from the rooftop where you were." And he said, "I couldn't do that, before." And Mikuak and Bilal, brother, I can tell you 100 million stories like that I've heard from several people, It's all over.
Ashe. Bilal, looks like you're getting ready to make your offering and mantra.
Yes. I'm getting
almost time.
Going.
One more time.
In a
second.
Indeed.
Perfect. Absolutely. So Heal the Atmosphere Association is the organization operating now? I know now that obviously Sri Charles is now an ancestor, and
Yes.
also his wife, Mama
Yes.
Harriet. We give thanks and acknowledge her presence and contributions as well. So tell us a little bit about what they're up to at the moment.
Yes. Yes. Well, now his sons have taken Heal the Atmosphere, and also good sister D. Her name is D. Dones Davis. She is also taking up the helm at Heal the Atmosphere Association. You can check out the website, Heal the Atmosphere. I believe it's healtheatmosphere.com or healtheatmosphereassociation.com. And on all social medias, Instagram, Facebook, I believe Twitter as well. And so right now, what they're focusing on right now is getting the grounds to the next level. So the 13 acres is still there. They have gardens, 2 gardens, as a matter of fact. They're installing fruit trees and things like that. But what they're going to do is they're going to make a grand reopening, and we'll keep everybody in tune with that as well. So
Wonderful.
just stay tuned. Stay tuned with Planet Restoration, the Free Up, and we'll keep you, abreast of Heal the Atmosphere Association. But what they want to do is just continue the works of Sri Charles and Mama Harriet, but just now, for this modern age, because it's a whole new generation of people who haven't heard the message yet.
Exactly. And so also to that point, people who are interested in learning more about this process can look up Heal the Atmosphere Association online, shantivillainstitute.org,
Oh, yes.
I think it is.
Yes.
And you can actually order your dung and supplies from Shanti Villa Institute. We order our dung here in LA from Alabama. It comes from Tuskegee, right there from Shanti Villa.
Homegrown.
So, homegrown.
Right? That's right.
From that 13-acre sanctuary, and that's holy, holy land. And I know there are many stories to share about the auspicious, even dare say, miraculous, mystic events that have occurred in that space. So we know that that's largely attributed to the concentration of this very rarefied air, this environment that's fostered through application of this practice consistently. And just for people to understand, I mean, Sri Charles and Mama Harriet kept that institute themselves for well over 30 years. Yes. Isn't that the case?
Yes.
Which basically definitely also meant they were doing the fires every day throughout the day for a course of over 30 years consistently.
Well, that's a good segue. How you set it up is because now Heal the Atmosphere Association, so they're healing the atmosphere obviously through fire, but there are many applications of the fire to heal the atmosphere. And so, of course, sunrise and sunset. We just showed you the sunset, and Bilal's also going to do sunset as well. Bilal, we doing good on time? We still doing good? Oh, did he? Because I can't see him.
He's confirmed. He's confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We're
okay,
perfect
good,
on
good.
time.
We'll leave you unmuted though, so we can hear the mantra. We'll leave you unmuted so we can hear your mantra too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
I got a minute to go.
Oh, 1 minute.
Okay, got a minute.
So go on, Roland. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So yes, now how are we healing the atmosphere through this fire? We've done sunset mantra, that's sunset fire. We do the sunrise fire. Now there are other fires they do at Shanti Villa. They do 5 a.m. mantra, which they do a fire. Then they do what's called 4 hours of a Homa called Om Triambakam daily, 4 hours. Okay. So all of that comes together to heal the atmosphere in a major way.
Om Shri.
Yes.
Shri.
Yes. Bilal, we almost
there.
All right, we'll turn our attention to Bilal there from Atlantis.
Agnaye Swaha. Agnaye Idam Namama. Prajapataye Swaha. Prajapataye Idam Namama.
So as we take the moment to observe this space that's being cultivated and generated with this concentration, this focus, we just want to acknowledge as we encourage people also to consider ways to make sacred this forthcoming Earth Day observance. We know, and in fact, I think
Om Shri, Om Shri.
Om Shri,
Om Shri, Om Shri, Om Shri.
Shri.
Yes, brothers.
Perfect example of making sacred and making conscious. And thank you so much, Brother Roland, for helping guide us through a really clear appreciation for the practice, for the method and all of the elements involved, all the tools. And we're going to make sure we put contact information for yourself as well as for Shanti, who want to follow up and begin to explore this practice themselves. I do have that book by Monica that you mentioned as well. It's a powerful book with a myriad of remedies listed inside, and it's just a wonderful book. And I think it was, in fact, it's either dedicated to Sri Vasant or advised by him as well. And so, you know, just to, again, encourage people to consider ways to, when we look at Earth Day, for example, not just as some singular marker throughout the year, but truly as you said earlier, Roland, a way of life. Practicing this offering or sacrifice or meditation or good karma, good action, is a very deliberate way to develop a conscious relationship with Earth and to really evolve that conscious relationship yourself, and then also appreciate how it has incredible reverberating effect for not only those in your immediate surrounding, but also throughout the entire biosphere, because it's truly all connected.
Yes, indeed.
So, you know, it's a true honor to connect with both of you in this way as we effort with Planet Restoration to make conscious ways in which we can truly make sacred, to really honor Earth and make this transition in a good and balanced way, this biosphere, noosphere transition that we like to talk about. Bilal, looks like you have something to share there.
Yeah. This is a book of mine called Champs. Acronym that represents Chi, health, art, meditation, prayer, and satsang. Right?
Powerful.
Often in the satsang chapter, I have like a few powerful masters. Excuse me. And just to bring us into the presence of Shri, I have a few quotes of his. Maybe I'll hit a couple of them.
Okay.
One of them says, and just to show you the page, I don't know if you can see the picture of Shri here.
Yes. Yes, man.
Sadguru Sri Gajanath Maharaj.
Yeah.
DJ.
So one of them says, the person who purifies himself purifies others.
Nice.
You know, simple and powerful.
Yes.
Another one says, it is not necessary to focus on mind if pranayama is practiced.
Wow. There we go. Yanya Dana Tapakarma Swajaya. Those are the 5 tenets that Paramahat Guru Sri Gajanath Maharaj, who instituted this fire in this form, as I shared with you earlier. There were fires done in the most ancient of times. As a matter of fact, the very first hymn in the Vedas, in the Rig Veda, which is the very first Veda out of the 4, the Rig Veda is the first. The very first hymn is called the Agni Mile Sutta, which is the hymn to the Agni. And the very first word is Agni. It's the Agni Mile. So the fire is very important in that tradition. Not only that tradition, because the Vedic tradition is really the history of the planet, the history of the cosmos. one thing that Sri would always say is that even though this comes through India, it's not just for Indians. The Vedas is for mankind, for the planet, humans and humankind alike. It's for the, in other words, how do you want to live happily on the planet? How do you want to have a successful life on this planet? Here, read this, institute this. And so we have the first tenet of the fivefold, which is Yanya, and then we have Dana, and then Tapa, Karma, Swajaya. Dana, as you said, Bilal, is sharing your assets in the spirit of humility, just to reduce your attachment to worldly possessions. And then we have Tapa. Tapa are the spiritual disciplines we do. We, like you said, pranayama, chanting mantras, doing yoga, any kind of spiritual discipline is a tapa. And so that's the third of the fivefold path. And the fourth is karma. And as you say, karma is just what you put out comes back to you. It's the law of you reap what you sow. And as we know, number five, swajaya, is self-study. Who am I? That's the beginning of your journey on consciousness. Who am I? And that question can be asked and answered every day of your life. It will never cease to be relevant, that question. Now, one funny thing that I'll share with you is when you do the first one, Yanya, when you do Agnihotra, you're doing all five. How is that? Well, you're doing the Yanya is the fire. The Agnihotra is the fire. So Agnihotra is the Yanya. Dana, you're sharing your assets in the spirit of humility. You need to secure the Agnihotra materials. And if we're going to do it like how we do it, we go to Shanti Villa. We share that with Shanti Villa, and they give us dung. We're sharing it. And Brother McCoy, if I don't have dung, I know you got dung. You'll give me some dung, and Brother Bilal, I'll give you dung, and rice and whatever. We share within the whole Agnihotra community. That's what we do. Also, the third one is Tapa, is spiritual discipline. Well, getting up, some of us get up early and bathe before we do Agnihotra, and you get up and do Agnihotra. Those are spiritual disciplines. Anytime you sit down and meditate or do something like that, that is a spiritual discipline. So the next one is karma. You reap what you sow. Well, guess what? When you heal the atmosphere heals you. So that's the major saying that Sri Charles would say for the Heal the Atmosphere Association. When you heal the atmosphere heals you. So that's karma. That's the law of you reap what you sow. And Swajaya, who am I? Now I'm talking to two brothers who've been doing the fire for years and years. When you sit in front of that pyramid, I know you see yourself in some kind of way. Sometimes you don't like what you see. Sometimes you you get me? So you do the fire, you're doing Agnihotra, you're doing all five.
Yeah, for real. Sometimes it'll spiral you into years of learning in different ways.
Yes,
It's
I
an
agree.
amazing thing.
Yes, I agree.
That's
Indeed.
powerful, though. Yeah, with that one,
Yes,
all
yes.
five
All five.
are
Yes.
attained. That's beautiful.
Only somebody like Shri, who's like you said, a Kalki avatar. The Kalki avatar, if you read it in the Bhagavad Gita, it talks about Kalki coming back on a white horse and a sword and a shield, coming back to slay the demon of pollution. Kalka is pollution. So Kalki is the one who comes to slay the pollution on the white horse and the sword and the shield. Well, we know Shri didn't use no sword. Sri Charles told me he went to India to see Shri one time, Paramasak Guru Shri, and he did see the white horse. They did have a white horse there. But the sword and the shield, the sword is the Agnihotra, and the shield is the ash and the protection of the Agnihotra. So this is the Kalki avatar.
So let me ask
Yes,
the
brother.
question, Roland, are people able to find this book still online? Can they order this book?
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, you can order the book. As a matter of fact, there's a PDF floating around online. You can just Google that name, Homa Therapy, the Ancient Science of Healing. I think she put it out for that reason. If you want to support the sister Monica Koch, because she's a German doctor. Germany, they're on a whole nother level with the research of Agnihotra.
Yeah.
There's one researcher, German researcher. I'll remember his name before the broadcast is over. But he's done a lot of different scientific experiments on water purification, soil purification, the experiments that we were talking about with the bacteria and viruses and things. He's done so many of those. A great resource is agnihotra.org. That's a great resource. And you can find other links within the Agnihotra community there.
We'll be sure to put some of those links in the description for the video too, for folks to check out.
Oh, yes.
Right there for Shanti Villa.
Yeah. Definitely check out Shanti Villa and Heal the Atmosphere Association.
By the way, mine on Amazon as well.
Amazon.
Agnihotra in the appendix a little bit.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, y'all check out Brother Bilal.
Supplemental materials. Yeah, we'll have a link for Bilal's book Champs in the description as well for people to go ahead and support that book. Amazing testament to his journey and the things that he finds that truly are supporting him and making life sacred, approaching it in a ceremonial way. I tell you what, I want to thank both of you just for taking the time today to spend this most precious window with each other during the evening Agnihotra, getting to do it twice in one day, and I'll do it a third time here in a couple of hours in California as we follow the circadian rhythm of the day, as you said. Just so grateful for the chance to dig deep into this and to bring up some amazing stories too, man. Thank you for sharing part of your journey with us, Brother Roland.
My pleasure.
Your exposure and your expertise, and it's amazing what an incredible teacher you are, and to see how that really shines through. So thank you for really stepping up and showing up in that capacity. And I know soon we're going to have some follow up with Mama Audrey about BGD reunions, so we can kind of help find ways to ensure that storyline continues for generations to come. So this forum is one way that we're going to ensure that that's on the hearts and minds of people, and other ways too. So stories about what you've experienced as well as right along the lines of the same type of thing we want to promote and support with PR, aligned with Earth. So again, thank you both for this moment. Any parting words that you have for listeners? Feel free to share, either one of you.
I would just say, for some final words, that all of these discussions leading up to Earth Day are about ways to make sacred that particular day, and to make Earth Day every day as well, and just to expand the awareness of our relationship with Earth, and to begin to communicate, and have a discourse, an energy exchange with the Earth as a part of us. And I feel like Agnihotra is a great tool for that, communicating to the Earth that, we see you, we love you, we're here to purify with you. And I must bear witness that while doing it, I feel a response, every time. So
every time,
so that's we're just sharing powerful ways to make sacred, the Earth and these special benchmarks. So give thanks for the time, for the space, for the love, and the brotherhood as well. Because as you all are hearing this, it's not just coming from people who found Agnihotra online. Like, it's a lineage that came straight from the master, Shri, that I was Paramasai Guru Shri. And so it went from him to Shri Vanzant, to our teacher, Sri Charles, straight to us. So it's we're sharing something that's charged with and backed by a official lineage, you know, and where it goes back from Sri is a whole nother story. We'll get there. I'm saying so.
Exactly.
Word,
That's more
one,
mystical stories for another time.
exactly.
Brother Roland, please,
Yes.
any closing thoughts or remarks you'd love to share?
Hey, big up Planet Restoration. We look the Free Up is looking forward to Planet Restoration Free Up mashup. I have
Say
one of the
less.
baddest poets in Jamaica. A sister named Aygnihotра. She's down with the Free Up. She's Free Up Jamaica, and
She's amazing.
yes, yes. Also, you heard, yeah, I did send you some other thing. But we're gonna have some collabs, and we started a Discord. If for all those people who are just getting a Discord and Twitch and things, I haven't got on Twitch yet. But I created a Discord, so if you're on the Discord, you can look us up at the Free Up. The Free Up hashtag 5245 to be exact. But we'll have all the links in the description and everything.
For sure. Perfect.
We're just gonna have some fun in there. Share the vibes. We just want to just free up, man. It's this time for the free up. This is the time that we're in, the time that everybody's been waiting on. It's going to take just a little bit more to get the word out to everybody, so the complete awakening happens. But I see we're approaching critical mass with platforms like Planet Restoration and others that just bring in this energy and healing. And Mikuak, what you're doing with the time factor, just the keeping the dream spell going, and I know your knowledge has deepened over the 15 or 20 years since you first shared it with me. I know your knowledge of it has deepened since you've seen so many of the cycles of the calendar and things. So I can imagine your viewpoint doing Agnihotra on these cycles, the sunrise and sunset, and then seeing the different cycles compounded on the dream spell calendar. And I know it's just a very special thing. And Brother Bilal, you already know y'all got the vibes. You and big up your brothers too, Taj and all the rest of them, Hawk and all the rest of them, man. Y'all got the vibes. Keep the vibes going, man. And we're gonna do some free up Planet Restoration.
Right.
Things coming.
Right.
It's on. It's on. Looking forward to it.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Indeed, brothers. We'll give thanks. And until next time, stay in your light, stay in your love, and keep the fire lit. Then like that. Om Shri.
Om Shri.